to flow. Bruddc and Giddy got a show to glow. Life stories wild like a late night dream. We're spilling the tea and it's hot like steam. Bruddc and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Bruddc and Kitty show. From trending news to the tales untold. Spinning the wheel, let the stories unfold. Catch us in the vibe where the chatter grows. With a pair that keeps you on your toes. What's the buzz? What's the word? Spill it fast, haven't you heard? Bruddc and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Bruddc and Kitty show. Truth or dare, we're taking the leap. Stories that'll make you laugh or weep. Tune in now, let the fun explode. This is your stop, it's the Bruddc code.
What is up, good people? You're watching the Bruddc and Kitty show. It is New Year's Eve, guys. We made it. For ones that did make it, we made it. We're here. We're alive. We've got to be positive about it. You know, Kitty, you're here as well. You've made it.
I've done it. I didn't think I would. There were times. Do you know what? Let's face it. If you knew me in the 90s, you'd be surprised I'm still here in 2025. Let's be honest. But yeah, this year has been work. It's been work.
It's if I was just let's go straight into it. What's your most proudest achievement this year, would you say?
I think this show. And I'm not just saying that because we're here.
Yep.
But because we've worked so hard on it, and we've really sort of come on in leaps and bounds, and we haven't gone the cheap route. We haven't gone, you know, we didn't go where we could have gone.
We didn't sell out, basically. We didn't sell out.
To be fair, no one's offered us yet, but
yeah.
we're open to offers. No, but we haven't crossed a line that I didn't want to ever cross. You know that, like you say, we was talking about it earlier, the Anthony Joshua thing. It's not something we've ever wanted to do, and I'm so proud of us for not selling out. Not that we, you know, I'm proud, and I'm proud of achieving, and our little group of people that come day in day out, even when you're late.
Yeah, sometimes we can be a little late, guys. Sometimes, you know, when you make that decision, like, you know, we're grinding people. We got jobs in other areas and stuff, guys. So sometimes, you know, something for 2020, 26 anyway, to try and get right in terms of timing and stuff. But life gets in the way. But we have to try. We have to keep trying, keep striving. And I have to think we'll have to set up some sort of forfeit or a fine or something like that for anyone that's late either whether it's me or you.
Okay, so you've asked me what my greatest achievement is. What I feel. What's yours?
Oh, do you know what? I'm probably the worst person to ask questions. Proudest achievement this year. Doesn't
have to be about.
Yeah. Proudest achievement. I haven't been robbed by G-string divas as much this year. I was thinking about that, how much money I've lost like previous years and all the rest of it in the industry that I kind of float around. You know, I haven't lost as much. I've learned from my mistakes. I have learned from a lot of mistakes. I've still made one or two this year in terms of business wise. Like a lot of people, they're just like contract, high percentage, like you know, just a lot about yourself and growth. And some people will argue, look, that's the way you got to grow in business. This is where everyone's doing. This is the model. This is how you've got to be, like, you know, in terms of business, and be a bit more ruthless and stuff. And I haven't had to be. The problem with me, I would probably say, is that I do put pressure on myself. Don't get me wrong. I do put pressure on myself, but I don't kill myself in the sense that, like, you know, it's life or death sort of thing. Like, I've kind of got, maybe, I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've kind of got comfortable just being, I'm happy with what I'm doing. Let's just say that. Like, I'm happy with what I'm doing in terms this year. I'm quite happy in terms of what I'm doing. I'm not. I'm not like. I'm. There's nothing I would say. Oh, look, I want this. I want that sort of thing. Yes, obviously, financial goals. You always want more. And you can always want to achieve more and stuff. Do you know what as well? There's a lot of people that this year that I have helped loads, and some people have been appreciative, some people haven't. In terms of stepping into the limelight, it's very difficult for some people to get on, even jump into social media. Really, especially of a certain age and stuff. It's a very scary place, and I've helped a lot of people, even people that people that no one even knows, sort of thing. But they are doing their thing now, and they're confident. And I've helped a lot of people maximize their earnings. Yes, it would have been lovely if they would have kept me around to earn a bit more money from what I've done with them. But I'm happy that they're happy and they're able to feed their kids and they're able to do a little bit more. There's a lot of people that I've helped this year that are doing really, really well with themselves, for themselves, and yeah, I'm quite happy about that, to be honest with you.
That's a proud achievement. You put dinner on tables, and you've not done it for social media either. You've not put it on the social media. You see these people like, oh, I'm giving this out, and I'm helping this person. That's a really good achievement. But next year you're getting pushed.
100%.
We've decided between the two of us, we're going to push each other
Yeah,
to achieve what we want to achieve, which I think is great because
yeah,
it's for both of us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what I would, if I'm sitting here next year, God bless us and God grace us with another year. If I'm sitting here next year, I want to be sitting back and I want to look back and say, look, I've built something really big over here. Taken a whole load of people, brought them together, and we've built something really, really big. That would probably be what I want to look at for next year. Start penciling things down. Start just making sure that there's a plan, but there's a clear plan, but sometimes with my vision, my plans involve other people, and you want to bring them in, but then they get to a point where it's just like, I want to do my own thing. And one thing that 2025 has showed me is that everyone's doing the same thing. I have spoken to all different types of people this year. I've had some amazing stories, amazing life stories. I've met some lovely people that have opened up, been nice enough to come on, do a little show with me. And, you know, I'm quite happy with that, to be honest with you. So it's something that definitely we need to look at a bit more.
Definitely. We build on what we've already got.
Indeed.
That we've got a foundation now. This is the foundation, and I think we can go forward with it. I think one of the big things we've got to look forward to is the Glamour Awards next year. We're going to take over. It's going to be our night. It's going to be, we're going to be there.
It's not Happy New Year yet, Donna, is it? Silly Billy. Yes.
I think that's a goal, that we're turning up at the Glamour Awards. I mean, we turned up, we had a look, and I think that was more reconnaissance for both of us. We had a look, we saw what was going off. We know what we're
I'll be asleep. That's so common, isn't it? With New Year's Eve, sometimes you plan for it, unless you plan something big or you go to a party or something like that. Most of the time, you do eat, and I don't know what is it. Don't know if it's just me, if it's just an age thing, guys. But when I'm drinking at home now, I just tend to get really sleepy. It's really hard to stay in a party vibe when you're at home, unless you've got the anthems blazing and stuff. It's really difficult.
I think it is. I think that comes with age, though. I mean, I go back to the 90s. The 90s, I remember most of my New Year's Eves, I was on a bar dancing somewhere at 12 o'clock, sort of jumping on people, going, "Yay, Happy New Year's." And if you saw the size of me back then, that was a big jump. But, but now I'm quite happy to sit at home in my PJs. I probably won't be. I'll probably be on a live somewhere, sort of talking to people. I do like the fact that social media gives me a platform to go and be social with other people, and there are so many lonely people out there. I'm not saying this because I want to pat on the back, but there are so many lonely people out there that will be on their own tonight. And even if I just give them 5 minutes of my time, I just want them to know that there's somebody out there that actually wants to talk to them or listen to them. And I did it on Christmas Day, and I thought I'll go on for an hour. Next thing you know, it's 3 hours later, and I'm chatting away. I'm in my pajamas, just chatting, and it was quite sort of nice. The thought that, you know, we're not alone. Everybody, we can reach out, and that's the beauty of social media.
Very, very true. Very true. You're right there, Donna. Social media has opened a platform for people. Like, one thing I've seen this year, a hell of a lot. I do a lot of searching for guests and stuff, and I do see a lot of women, predominantly single mums as well. You hear the kids in the background, and you can see that this social media sort of side of it is sort of, it's a bridge between the sort of, you can't go out, they can't do what they want to do, but they're able to sort of go into another world, hear someone else's problems maybe. I think I went off track before, but I think what I've seen in 2025 on social media, especially TikTok, is that there's so many more people becoming rather than sitting in people's lives, they're doing their own sort of creators sort of show sort of thing, and that's good. It's good, but I feel like there's if you go through most people's social medias, you'll see three really good videos that have done really well, and then you go underneath it and then you see the reality of the videos. And I think TikTok are very smart. They give you your day once or twice or even 3 times, and then it's just like, yep, back into the club sort of thing. Like, they just sort of recycle you.
It's a coupling situation, isn't it? All of a sudden, I mean, I've got a couple that have gone over 250,000 and things like that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're getting a bit cocky. 200.
Yeah, they have to give you the carrot and the stick occasionally, don't they? So you get the carrot 3 or 4 times, then it's the stick for the rest of you. You just sit there, and this is why it's so important that people merge together, rather than having if you've got some people that just sit on their live, you've got 10, 20, 30 people in there, you merge that together, you make a proper platform together, with 5 or even 10 creators, that 30 becomes that 30 becomes 300. Then you've got 300 eyes watching a lovely show, watching all different personalities. So that is the goal, more or less, for 2026 at the end of it, is to bring more creators together, collab, work together, and see how it goes.
You don't want no divas, though. No divas. I'm the only diva in this room.
My socials one is like 500, and then the other one's yeah, that's literally it. They give you the carrot and the stick.
Yeah, it's terrible, because you some of these you really think are going to take off. I've got 1 or 2 where they should literally have, it's something that you'd want to watch, and they're doing nothing. They're doing, and it's heartbreaking when you've worked so hard on it.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, though, obviously, as the more you do social media, you start learning. Sometimes it is about the numbers, it is about the platforms. You do have to mass distribute, and I feel that we make good content. I feel like we have good chats. We make good content, but I wouldn't get hung up on it, because there's so many people doing it. You got to realize, there's probably billions of people on social media. Sort of traumatic event within their family, partners, exes, God knows that. I've heard so many domestic violence stories this year. It's been unreal. It's literally been unreal. And last night I had a little bit of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole of, you know, domestic violent people getting their cameras out and situations. I would put a few videos up. I thought I'd keep it positive today on New Year's Eve, you know, but good God, some people are going through some serious stuff. And I think to myself, why on earth are you even with that person? Like, seriously, you're not happy. Like, you can tell there's no love there. Like, you know, one of the things for this year, guys, everyone needs to make a New Year's resolution. Men, put a rubber on it if you don't want to marry it. And two, women, shut your legs. If shut your legs for these scumbags. Like, you know, I know everyone wants it. The women talk about, you know, I want a bad man. I like a bad man. I like a tough guy. Like someone's a bit gruff, bit stubbly or whatever. Like, you know, but honestly, it's really not working. Like, that one night of passion, that little bit of fantasy, it's not working because people are making kids with these kind of people, and it's seriously effing up young kids. Like, kids are having so much. They're so, honest to God, man. Some of the things I saw, I will, maybe tomorrow we'll do it. We'll start New Year's resolution sort of thing. We'll definitely have to start dedicating our days to DV and support and stuff like that. Because so many women and men as well, that have been going through domestic violence. So yeah.
I've never hid the fact, and I'll never hide the fact that I am a survivor of DV. So it's something that's very passionate. I'm very, very passionate about any sort of violence or hurt or trauma towards another person. So, like you say, it could be a man, it could be a woman. I do feel sorry. I mean, you sent me a video yesterday about these numbers about men. That struggle with domestic violence, and how the refugees are really sort of selling the narrative that it's always women because the money will come to them, and there's nothing out there for men. And I do really sort of feel sorry for, because I know that there are some women that can be absolute cows.
Yeah. It's really sad to see as well, and it's when you see it in reverse, like, you know, a man that's, like, you know, not confident. You can just tell, like, you know, he's kind of feels like he's stuck with this person, and, you know, he can't get any better. Like, you know, I don't know what the answer is, because I really want to say to people, there's someone out there for everyone. You know, just keep working on yourself, keep improving on yourself, and you'll find someone. But saying that is all good, but in reality, when you go home and you're on your own, like, you know, I watched a video yesterday and it was showing people's last moments before they ended up killing themselves. And most of the time, you would never even believe it. Like, you know, you'd see someone smiling, like, you know, at a party dancing, and then they've topped themselves the next day. Like, you know, so I feel like people try and reach out for your friends, family members this year. Like, you know, try and reach out, because you never know. And I think I've watched a video. I think I've sort of showed it here. I think everyone needs about 10 minutes interaction from a real person. 10 minutes. That's all they need when they're going for a really dark place. And you don't even have to have the best advice. They just want you to listen to them and empathize with them, like, you know, and, you know, just try and be there a little bit if you can there for them. Just, most people need that, like, you know, and come up with a code as well. And I was pretty upset one time as well. I remember we had a chat, and after the chat, you were like, you messaged me, and you're like, oh, I'm really sorry. I weren't really feeling it. I've been crying all day or something like that. And I actually felt really bad about that. I was thinking, oh, that's really bad. Like, you know, so, you know, that goes for you. That goes for everyone, you know.
I
Reach out,
use
and maybe a code word. If you're having a bad one, have a code word, and then the person knows straight away.
I use this platform. One of the things that I love about this platform is the fact that I get to. It's almost like a therapy session sometimes. You know, you
I
get
feel
to,
like you come off the couch, you're like, woof, unloaded that shit.
yeah, you know, like you can feel absolutely rotten, and then you show me a video of like some being beaten, or and I'm like, you know, and it's so cathartic to make, you know, to make you feel better, and also we hear so many stories, and I think maybe just offloading it just a little bit and having that sympathetic ear, if it just saves one person, I've done something good. And you know, I when I say I've been crying, I've probably been crying because Mia's done me head in.
Mhm.
Let's face it, she can do my head
Mm.
in. But you know, I do find this platform really, really helpful for mental health. I think domestic violence, mental health is something that we should always sort of go forward with and try and help as many people. And if we ever make it, and we you know, we're rolling in that money, that's one of the things, the charities that I would work with, but I would set it up myself so that I know that the money's not.
100%. Like, you know, I want to do a lot more charity work for next year. Like, you know, I would like to. I will set some quite ambitious goals actually, because one of the things I want to do is fresh water is a human right that everyone should have.
Yeah.
So I want to build at least one well, and not only build one well in I don't know what country yet. I want to teach the people how to build their own wells and start, you know, that's something very big for me, like charity and helping people helping people in like third worlds that really shouldn't be third worlds, that really shouldn't be with the natural resources that they have. But
Mm.
I do want to help a lot more people, and you know, and I feel like that's something, because I was sitting back the other day and I was thinking to myself, you know, what if I sit back and I think to myself, what actually moment in my life, or what actually time in my life was I really sort of proud of what I've done? And most people think, oh, it's because when you made that load of money there, like, you know, no, that was good. But most of the time, it's when you actually help someone that needed a little hand, like, you know, you see that you've helped someone, like, you know, and you think to yourself, like, you know, like let's be real, like, you know, I started with helping a lady in terms of, like, you know, the oni industry. And you know, this woman wasn't on her knees, but now she's a millionaire. And now she's a millionaire. And although I'm very happy for her, and I am generally happy for her, like, you know, there are times where I sit back and think to myself, oh, you know, did I dodge a bullet? Did I you know, it's really hard. I've actually just literally unblocked this person from social media. Literally, I think I'm healed. I think I'm healed. I've literally unblocked this
Is
person.
that feeling if you can sort of face them again?
I,
And
it, I, I get heart palpitations every time I see her videos pop up. Honestly, it's like it's a weird moment, because it's such a, when you put a whole load of time, like, you know, it's like you think to yourself, everyone wants to start a business up, like, you know, and you start and you don't. You know, I hustled my way into the industry. I didn't know shit, like, you know, I hustled my way in and said I could do a whole load of things, and fuck me, I did it, like, you know, and we got to a stage where we were building on really good foundations, like real money, like proper money. And then for that to just go, that is really difficult situation to be in, like, you know, especially when you build it.
oh right, do you know what?
Sorry, we've got a proudest moment here. Proudest moments helping 3 families get what they need uh, for their kids.
Yeah, I think that's so sort of heartwarming to help people, not give them, to help them. Like
Yeah.
you said with the water, not just. It's really funny you say that, because I've had this guy from Nigeria reach out to me, not in that way, but he's like, if I give
Oh,
you my secret, will you pass it on to someone? Because it's so bad here and it's so this and that. I'm just going to pass him on to you, so he
yeah.
can help you well. So maybe that's what
Yeah.
that was said.
It is. You know, people think that you're, when we do these kind of shows, they see us and stuff like that, and they must think that we're making like hundreds of thousands of pounds and stuff like that. Because a lot of people do, especially from other countries, when they see me, they do message me, and I get all these things saying, "Oh, can you help me with this? Can you do this? Can you do that?" Like, you know, I probably had at least 10 people message me saying that I'm on my ass and I'm dying. Can you help me out? Maybe I helped 2 people out. But then I had to just stop, because
Yeah,
honestly, there's only so much you can do, honestly, because then obviously then you start thinking, wait a minute, why are all these people just sort of like, it wasn't the scam ones, like, you know, where, oh, you know, love you long time sort of thing. The real people, real profiles, and they said, look, I don't know what it is about you, but there's something about you that made me feel like you can help me out today if you can.
yeah. This guy isn't isn't pushing for freebie or anything like that. He wants to work, and he's like, if you see anything, please help me and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I will. But now you've mentioned that, maybe it's something that we can use to go forward, and maybe we can use him to go and build the wells.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a,
I definitely wanna get out to places. But also as well, I'm gonna get my friend on. He's from Ghana, and he has a proper bee in his bonnet when he sees how the West depicts Africa. He has a proper, like, it really frigs him off when they show the kids with the flies on their faces, and he's like, do you know that's like some countryside place, like, we've got big towns, we've got big cars, we've got big buildings, like, in, like, we've got infrastructure, like, it's not how they depict it on the telly. So he's got a proper bee in his bonnet about that, and we will get him on about that soon, actually.
Yeah, actually, it's a really good thing, because not when these charities are so dodgy, I don't
Oh
trust them.
no, it's no, 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 no. We can't do it anymore. We can't do it
No,
anymore.
when they're saying to me, send me £10 a month so that they can have fresh water, they're not getting that. You know
It's
that, and it's horrible, because out of my heart, I'm not making hundreds of thousands. I'm giving that £10 a month, and then you find out that they're not getting it. But then they use those pictures to get at you.
yeah,
Those. But I watch a show called 90 Day Fiance, and they sort of meet these people in these countries and go over there, and they show you what it looks like.
mm,
So I've seen it for myself. It's not that bad. It's not great.
no. It's not as obviously developed as we are, but there are trust me, there are, like, my friend said to me, like, you want to, the people that live good, they live, I suppose it's like anything really, like, the people that are okay, they live okay, and you can go areas all over the world where, people will walk past and think this is a shithole, like, or even in the UK, and even still, we think third world and stuff like that. We've got people, like, food banks are overwhelmed in this country alone. Like, food banks, people queuing up to get food, like, in this country, let alone other countries, putting our nose down other countries. Like, you've got people with fresh water, all the opportunities, everything going from, like, if some of these people from other countries had the same opportunities that, oh well, we see it when they come here on a boat, literally, they most of the time they end up making a business and doing something, and really, really, really achieving, like, that's why people want to come here in boatloads, literally, pardon the pun, but
Yeah. I'll tell you something else, just changing the subject. Another thing that I was really proud of was going to that rally.
oh yeah,
Going to that rally and not assuming, and not, sort of going with an agenda or anything else. We went, we looked. Again, we did the reconnaissance. We went, we had a look, and we gave our opinion, our very honest opinion. I lost a lot of friends for it, but they're not really my friends.
yeah,
And one of the things I remember about it at the time, there was all these memes afterwards of these people queuing up at, like, curry bars and things like that, and they were like, "Here's your patriots,
mm,
here's your patriots." And I thought, real patriots, and I'm going to say this, aren't really bothered about the colour of your skin. We're just bothered about the country and what's happening to it. So we
yeah,
will go to the curry restaurant, or we will go and get a kebab, or we will do this. We're not talking about those people that are giving to the community or paying their taxes. We're talking about people, most of us, and I'm saying most of us, I'm not saying all of us, most of us are the ones that are coming over and taking the mick out of us, and getting free healthcare and whatever. They're illegal, and then they're dangerous. So yeah, I'm very proud of us, because we went and saw what we wanted
yeah.
to see.
I suppose, from a journalist sort of point of perspective, like, this is obviously what we're moving towards, like, we're doing our own journalism, like, we have to, you have to go to places and see other people and see what's going on there, so you can deliver the accurate news, so we can tell the tale. We can say we saw some lovely people, most people were really kind, most people were really concerned, but there were some idiots, like, like you see everywhere, like, I
Always going
suppose
to be.
that's the word patriot seems to be pushed around a hell of a lot in this day and age, and I'm trying to figure out what constitutes a patriot now, a true patriot, and patriotism to the country, loyalty to the country. And I would say something, being proud of the country, like, being a good human being, contributing to society, like offering some sort of service to the country, like working, doing something in the healthcare system or something like that. I feel like these things make you a patriot, like, but unfortunately, there's some people that, you know, you're only a true patriot if you've got a bulldog or you've got a lion or you've got some sort of tattoo on your face or something like that. You know, you've got the Stone Islands on. You're a fucking geezer. You know,
Yeah.
he's not taking our jobs. That's a
We-
true patriot. I feel like that's out the window, sort of. You know.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think we've got to open the word patriot up in a new way and say this is the new patriot. People that, like you say, pay into the government. You know, people that want to keep their house clean and keep the streets clean. People that are not going to put up with their own communities, you know, doing atrocities. You know, people that are going to call people out as well. And also, I don't think most English people or Scottish people or British people really give a toss what colour your skin is. I think it's more if you are taking the living piss.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for every colour and creed in the country. I don't think there's one person that would sit there and go, do you know what, I'm really happy that people are coming over and like taking
Yeah.
all the healthcare and coming over and getting hotels, and then we don't know who they are and they're dangerous, and then we're having to fly them back and pay them £3,000 to fly them back.
Yeah. I mean, common sense is common sense. I say, you know, other countries have their rules and they have their regulations. Like you can't break them. Like, you know, you go to other countries and you try to do some of the things that you could do here, and you would be, you know, it would be the end for you. Like, you know, but unfortunately, this is where our sort of democratic sort of Western society fails, where we don't stand for anything, where you can call yourself a donkey or call yourself a pony or call yourself a wolf, and everyone's got to respect your sort of your, you know, everyone's got to respect your way. Like I was watching this interview with Mohammed Hijab, and he was talking to someone, and someone was saying to him, "Why don't you go to an Islamic country and do your preaching and stuff like that?" And he quite honestly said, "Oh, first of all, he said, you know, I was born in this country. I'm English, like, you know, fundamentally, I'm English." And then he said, if I did certain things in that country, even me speaking how I'm speaking, even though he's pro-Islam and all the rest of it, he probably wouldn't get away with doing it, even in other countries, you know. So it's
It's a rod for our own back, isn't it?
yeah, this is where it's coming, where we might see people would respect us more if we said, right, we are a Christian country, and you know everyone has to go to church, and you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. You respect our thing, but the thing is, you know, the law of the land you can literally do what you want. Like, you know, you can, you know, we are, whether we like it or not. Where the sort of Islamic countries get away with everything is they have their law of the land. They have the strict policies, procedures, and stuff you have to obey, but stuff still goes on under the curtains. So you're able to sort of have your laws and then have some grey area under here, but the country is propped up. The face of it is all these lovely buildings and, you know, the laws and everything. But here it's like, nah, you can do whatever you want. So
Yeah,
maybe being educated in something your fight fight for is being educated on something your fight for is important. Oh, being educated on something you're fighting for is important.
yeah.
Um, it is true, but I feel like in this country we don't have anything. Like, you know, people don't go to church. You know, we're not and fundamentally as well. This is something that's very important. People only give a shit about themselves.
Yeah.
There's no true I can't say the word anymore. There's no true real togetherness or familyness or anything like that. You know, back in the old days when I walked down the street, you know, I used to watch my dad carry an elderly lady shopping or something like that. You know, these are the kind of things I was brought up on. Like, these are the kind of things I saw. Like, you know, helping people across the road. You know, helping an old person carry their bags. Like, you know, do you think old people walk down the road nowadays thinking that they can trust, you know, someone to come past and hold their bags for them, or even do even not mug them?
Yeah, I
Unfortunately,
was just
you
about
know,
to say, if they took your bags off you, you'd think they were trying to steal them off you. You'd go
yeah,
mental.
yeah. There was a gentleman that I knew that made his living. I didn't know him personally, but I knew about him from someone that made his living from waiting at the post office for old people and then donging them over the back of the head with a baseball bat and taking their stuff.
No.
Yeah, and this was a true patriot, if you know what I mean, guys, as well. You know, So
That's the
when you,
low. That is
yeah,
nicking a pension. That's disgusting.
hmm
That's the lowest. I mean,
with
I've
a
known
baseball
people.
bat as well, a baseball bat over
Oh,
the back of the
yes,
head.
I put them in hospital as well. You absolute tool. You absolute tool. There's no other words for you. You
Mm,
see, this is what really annoys me because I consider myself a patriot, right? I love this country. I go out and I clean my street, my area, and make sure that it's all clean. And if I see people dropping things, I don't like it. I consider myself a Christian, can't go to church very often because I've got Mia, but I would love to go to church. So I watch it on social media, Trent Vineyard. I love all these things. I love the fact that as British people, usually when the shit is down, they all come together. Like Donna says, she made sure that there was people that got things at Christmas. That most of us are like that. We will, you knock on our door and they, if you got half a cup of sugar, no, if you got a cup of sugar, you go, well, I've only got a cup left. You give them half, and you say, but
mm,
you can have half, and that is sort of the British way. We are very, very helpful, but
uh,
unfortunately,
yeah,
it's being taken advantage of because
uh,
we're so nice and polite and
yeah.
whatever. So now we've got people coming over from other countries taking advantage of it, and that is what I think people are getting their nose out of joint
Yeah,
about.
I feel like that it's a double-edged sword because there's the whole cause and effect. No one can play stupid unless you are stupid. Now,
Mm.
if you've got people coming from other countries, what countries are they coming from? What's going on in those countries? Who's caused the wars in those countries? You like even Nick Griffin, the poster boy of the BNP. The poster boy of the BNP. He
Good
can't.
shot.
He's got to be lying to you to try and get in this. Oh, they're taking this. They're doing this. They're doing that. He's got to be lying to himself if he's not being honest about the truth. We are stealing other countries' shit. Literally stealing their shit. Some people are saying we're stealing it for another country, not even our interest. What can you say? How'd you kill 2 million people in Iraq? How'd you kill 2 million people? There's like people talk about Gaza and there's only 2 million people in Gaza, in Palestine, and we've killed 2 million people in Iraq. Everyone stand 1 million people went into Parliament Square and voted against it. Said no, we don't want this war. I hear Keir Starmer talking and all these generals, all these warmongers in England talking about be ready to fight for this country. I'll tell you what, you will be, I think if they try it, you will be told to categorically fuck off. You've got some people out there that are like, yeah, club and country, we're going to go and do this. Nah, 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 nah. Because what it is, it's not the rich people's family. It's not those people's family that will be fighting in the trenches. It will be the working class people that have nothing. Your sons, your daughters. You will look at Ukraine, 5,000 people dying every single week over there. Do you think it's the politicians' sons and daughters out there fighting? I very much doubt it. I know that Klitschko does his thing, but you don't know how much it is. But no, 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 no. And Kiers, the elites better know this. People are awake enough. You can't make us go fight no wars in no trenches. You've got some people that haven't got nothing going on in their life and would love to do something like that. And you're seeing these people go out to Ukraine right now and fight for them, and they're being executed and being killed. And oh, come and help us. You,
I
what are you
don't want.
doing out there? Why are you trying to? Do you understand that you could pull us into a nuclear war where everyone dies and it's only the top people hiding in their bunkers that survive it? And maybe some people are saying they want that to happen. Maybe they want that to happen.
The
You know,
elite.
if you don't have a bunker, don't be talking about no war with China or Russia. As long as they don't overstep the mark where they're literally trying to push their junk in our faces, we have brought this to their doorstep. We said we wouldn't increase the countries and we wouldn't increase NATO, and we just kept expanding it, and we brought it right to Russia's door. And what do you think Mother Russia's going to say to you? Don't f around. Don't
Oh,
f around. No one wants to see their sons and daughters dying for what? For these super elites that we don't know. No one wants that.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And there's no way my son's going. And and like you say, you've got children. Nobody wants that, and I keep hearing it. Be prepared. No one's prepared because we don't want to do it. We're not.
No, trust me.
Plus, I've got things to do. I'm busy. You
Yeah,
know
we
what I
got we
mean?
got we got the show today. We got the show today.
Yeah.
We're busy. Yeah. But no, yeah, yeah. Bit in all seriousness, like if they think 1 million people turning up for Iraq to protest against that war was a lot, try do that against Russia. The country will shut down, and we're already seeing it in some countries. When the people stop looking at the color of people's skins and the religion of people, and they come together, everyone comes together and turns up at Parliament Square, all united with the country's best interest at heart, that's when real change will happen.
I
Not.
I think it'll come to that. I
Yeah, it
think it'll
will.
come to that.
It will.
I definitely think there will be 1 million people in that like you say, Parliament Square, or more than that. I mean, if you think, I think there was probably 1 million on that Unite the Kingdom Day. There was definitely 1 million for the Iraq war. So imagine what's going to war. Who's going to? Nobody wants to go to war with Russia or China. None of us do. We all know what they're capable of. We also know that they are rulers, proper rulers. They don't play around. It's not let's all vote. It's like one man that is a bit that will just go done.
Yeah,
You wanted it. We didn't want it.
yeah.
And I'm not. I don't want to play with Vladimir Putin. Don't want to play with him. I don't want to play with China either. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm from. And I still don't want to play with them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm half China. I'm
Yeah.
not playing.
Yeah, but the thing is, like talking about uniting people, it doesn't fit people's agendas.
No.
It fits. If you want to grow a platform, you want to become the next TR or something like that, you have to follow script. You have to play ignorance. You have to play ignorance because it would be ignorance to not understand that we are going to these countries often doing some sort of coup and having a proxy sort of party in place. I might get in trouble for saying this, but someone said to me, ISIS haven't killed one Jew.
Really?
Someone said to me, ISIS haven't killed one Jew. In all these countries where ISIS have risen up and stuff, it's all Muslims that they're killing.
Oh, okay.
I had a theory, and I have to be very careful about it when I heard about this whole, because I mean I didn't know much about the Palestine-Gaza sort of Palestine-Israel sort of situation. Knew the basics, but I didn't know a lot about it. But the fact that that Hamas started this war, hid underground, and then the leaders of these groups are allowed to stay in other countries and collect their money and all the rest of it. I mean, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to kind of figure out what's kind of going on, and look at the result. Look at the result. What's happened?
What happened? Can you remember Netanyahu was named as a war criminal? Why has he been let off? Because I can't remember them actually announcing, right, he's no longer a war criminal. Can you remember he had to leave?
No.
And went to America, didn't he? And then all of a sudden he's not a war criminal now anymore.
Yeah. Well, he's still, yeah, in the International Criminal Court, he's still classed as a war criminal. He's asking Trump to be pardoned. There's the mayor of New York, I believe. I think it's the mayor. I think the mayor of New York or the Senate. I can't remember what it is. The mayor. Yeah, I think the mayor of New York said that if Netanyahu comes to New York, he'll be arrested. And Netanyahu sort of said the other day, "I'll come to you, New York, no problem. Like I've got no fear of this sort of thing." He's Trump's best buddy basically at the minute. And I don't want to be like the conspiracies around the sort of like the conspiracies that are out there, like these people are controlling this, these people are controlling that, they want to steal this, they want to steal that. I don't know.
I always think that with conspiracies, there's a small amount of truth in it. Not the whole thing is true.
Yeah.
I always say, usually there's method to the madness. So there's something within the conspiracy that's true, and then there's not, if you know what I mean. Most of it is made up, but there's something in there, you know, if you can
Yeah.
sort of it out and see what it is. So you probably, there is some sort of conspiracy, and you know there is some truth to it, but I wouldn't say it's all
Yeah, and trust me, it's not the guy it's not the guy that lives next door to you that's going to profit from this or anything like that. You know, it's the elites. And the thing is, you know, if you're an elite, you know, and you want to control people and stuff, you know, you've got to be very tactful. But people have got to the point now where you like, you know, if you do your own little research, if you follow your favorite streamer, that you follow your favorite creator that just posts one picture, and then you think that's the news, like, you know, then your mind's gonna be a certain type of way, and they want you foolish like that, like, you know. And honestly, it's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. To hate is big business, as they say. Um, what's that guy's name? Nick Griffin. He says it himself. Hate is big business, and it's much easier to just say, "Yeah, look, it's just them coming over there, scumbags. They're taking this, they're doing that," rather than saying, "Right, wait a minute. Why don't we stop getting involved in these wars and stop stealing their shit? Let them do whatever they want in their countries within reason. Let them do
yeah.
whatever they want." Let them do
It's,
whatever they want. As long as if they want to rub jam on themselves, they want to do this, they want to do that. Let them do what they want to do in their countries. Leave them alone. Like, you know, that's not our business.
yeah, but this is where you've got that moral dilemma, haven't you? Right, and we was talking about this the other day, and it's like, you know, like that underage marriage. So where do you stand moralistically? Because
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
yeah,
That,
and
that,
so under those rules that you've just said, we wouldn't be able to go in and stop that.
well, we can't stop it anyway. It's still happening. It happens in a lot of countries still to this day. We can't stop it. I don't know how. I don't know how we would, but what scares me with that is that you will have people from the West that will abuse this. Oh, I can have wives that are 6 and 7 and 8 and stuff like that. Let me go and move over there real quick. And we already know that, you know, this is a man problem. Trust me, this is a man problem. Of all colors, of all creeds, this is a man problem. Like, you know, you just go to Thailand, and like I said, we spoke about it plenty of times. You know, see what your husband and see what your fiance, see what your cousin, see what your brother's doing on that stag do. Like, unfortunately, you know, we want to believe that these are all monsters and stuff like that, but unfortunately, they're our family members, they're our friends, they're people that we know that are doing these horrible things in these
Yeah,
countries.
my brother was like, "Oh, such and such has gone over to Thailand, and such has gone over to Bangkok, and such." Why is everyone going over to Bangkok? And I said, because they can get underage girls and underage boys, and women will just literally
Yeah.
everything they want because it's money, 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 money.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, don't say things like that." But it's true. And I can't, these people now, that all these people that go, and they go over there more or less every year, I can't talk to them now. You know, because me and you have talked about things like this,
Yeah.
look them in the eye.
Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure there are people that don't go to do that,
No,
but there's also a lot of people. A bunch of lads go into Thailand to Bangkok. They're going to Bangkok most of the time. Most of the time, you know, if you've got, I love it there. The people are amazing and blah blah blah. They got some twang about them. I just love it. You know, yeah.
yeah, but I just can't look at them now. You know, like when we used to go out, and I'd be like looking at them thinking, God, what are you doing when you go? Because they go 2 or 3 times a year. And it's like,
Pro,
that's
obviously the red light district is very popular for the men. You know, don't get me wrong as well. You've got some really nice men that go to Thailand to find a wife. They just because they've given up on Western women. Like, you know, like if in Thailand, in a lot of these countries still today, like, you know, you can have 3 or 4 wives if you treat them right. If you treat them right, you know, you could, and you're a good person, you've got some money and stuff, like you could buy a lovely house, you can have 3 or 4 wives, and they're happy to be your wives and treat you as a king, like, you know, rather than some woman over there that you can't stand going back to see. You know, she's waiting for you. You've just done a hard shift and she's waiting for you with the pots and the pans, and, you know, do this, do that, do this. And you got some some Western women, you go to work, you got some South American woman or Asian woman, you come back, she's got a lovely, all these meal waiting for you, husband greeting you at the door, treating you like a king, the way men should be treated, some people would say. And yeah, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of Western women go like looking for, really struggling to find a man, like unless you're in your unless you, I don't know, unless you read the room. And when I say that, you like, the marketplace for someone is always there. It's always there. Sometimes I see it, and sometimes you see women that have been in the game too long, and you think to yourself, right, she's still thinking that she can get what she used to be able to get. And she can get it for a night, even 2 nights, and maybe even a regular night, maybe every regular Friday night, but she can't get what she really wants. That man is to be hers, and she'll end up doing things to compromise herself and all the rest of it. And this is kind of where we are. But if you go where the marketplace is high for you, like older men is where it's at, ladies. And these African women will tell you about it, because they're going to the hospices to find these brothers. Like,
I
they
love
get
that.
they're going to the hospital. Like, I think we did a show on it, didn't we? About the woman that used to go to hospices to find a husband and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
just
they,
fabulous.
they bang on care home, bang on care home. They got a 2-year
It's
lifespan in the care home.
doing an Anna Nicole, isn't it? It's doing an Anna Nicole, because obviously that, you remember that he was a billionaire, wasn't he, with Anna Nicole, and she
Hmm.
got something like 470 million off him before he died. I mean, I know they went through court and everything, and she had it, then she didn't have it, then she had it.
Mm.
But yeah, it's called doing an Anna Nicole. It's a possibility. But there are women that go round the old people's homes. I think that's fabulous. And you know what? Fair play to them, because they do look after him like they're a king, and they give them some happiness before they go, and they put
They
some
just
graft.
they just inherit a house and a little bit of money as well, and that's always a touchy one as well, because with old people, when they get to their later years, it's literally who was there yesterday for them, not who's been there for them their whole life. And that's why, in the sort of healthcare industry, when it comes to old people and stuff, there are very strict sort of rules about manipulation and stuff, because it's so easy. Like, they
Yeah.
will get they will you go there, you make them a cup of tea, and they'll say, right, I'm going to leave you my house. And sometimes they do that. Like, sometimes they literally do leave the care of the house, or the healthcare worker, or the foot person. One thing I wanted to talk about, just I didn't want to talk about nothing too negative, but Deontay Wilder done an interview recently,
Mm.
and he was married to this woman. That woman, that Asian woman that he's married to. You see her in all the pictures. He's no longer with her. He's done a podcast slamming her, saying that she stole loads of money off him. And also, he took on 2 of her kids. And
No.
he took on 2 of her kids, yeah. And he even got to the point where he actually was going to include them in his will. And it's he's saying, sometimes the kids would be like, oh, you ain't my dad, you can't talk to me like that. And like, he's saying, from his perspective, he's saying, I'm world champion these times, like, I'm making big bucks, I'm a big name, like, you lot are living a great life, like, and sort of like the stepdad sort of thing is obviously being slammed now, like, is it worth it? But we had Junaid the other day talking about it. And yeah.
The thing about step parents is you're always going to get that throwback, aren't you? Like, especially when they're teenagers, you're always going to get that, you're not my mum, you're not my dad. And if you're a good parent, right, and you love that child, you'll understand that that's that child hitting out at you. That's that child angry because, you're not the biological parent. One of the best things I've ever seen, and one of the things that I always love to see on social media, is where you see a bride walking down the aisle and she's got 2 dads either side of her. And she'll say, I also had my stepdad. So I had my dad and my stepdad. That's lovely to see, because obviously this is where it's worked. But and I know, at some point when she was 15 or 16, she's thrown that at him, and she, you're not my dad. And
Yeah.
what you've got to understand, if you get that, right, it's not personal. It's a 15-year-old just hitting out at you. So, you know,
That's a really, really good point. A really, really good point that maybe a lot of people should listen to, but it's the male pride and the male ego that's hurt in that stage. But likewise, it could be your kid, and she could say, "I hate you, and I can't stand you. I wish you wasn't my dad," and stuff like that. And that is when kids do hit out. So that's actually a really interesting dynamic to put in there, actually.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that these teenagers are going through hormones. They're going through all sorts of, they're being told that they should be alphas and, the red pill, blue pill, whatever. They're going through all of this. And then on top of that, somebody's telling them that they can't do something. Now, it doesn't matter who it is. At that particular moment, they'll go for the jugular and they will go for the Achilles heel, which in this case would be, you're not my mum. You're not my dad. And that, it will hurt. It will hurt because you more or less, most good step parents love those children, and it will hurt. Ooh, one of them. But you've got to remember, they're 14, 15, or however old they are, and they're just hitting out because they're angry, or you've just told them that they can't go to a nightclub, or you've just told them that you're not picking them up after such and such, and they're just angry. And you have to remember how angry you were at that age, and maybe some of the things that you said to your parents or step parents.
Yeah.
Maybe it that way. But I will say this, don't give up on them because they're hitting out or because they're angry. Teenagers have got a lot to deal with, especially today with social media the way it is. I'm not making excuses because some of them are absolute little shits. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But please remember that when those stepkids do hit out at you, or even if you're fostering them, or if you're adopting them, just remember sometimes it's just said because they want to hurt you at that particular moment.
Yeah, and try not to be toxic as well with it. Like, when people, unfortunately, people are breaking up. People are breaking up, and people aren't getting on. People are having children with the wrong person. I watched a video yesterday of this guy. He had he had his daughter for the night. Well, not even for the night, for take her for a meal, and the biological mum turn up to the dinner, turn up to the restaurant, and she's literally standing there like that. I'm watching what's going on over here. I'm watching what's going on over here.
I think
Is
one of
this
the
the culture
lessons,
of the West? Hormones not an excuse to be rude. Angry doesn't happen in Asia. That's very true, man. That's what we're talking about. People are moving to Asia to find their wives now. Like, the people are moving to different cultures. Western culture, Western women, 50-50, unless you're paying, unless it comes to pay the first date, yeah, it's really not working.
but we were talking about parenting the other day, and you've got to remember that we were those children. We were those angry children. And I just think with social media as it is today, they're just dealing with so much. I think one of the lessons we've got to learn is how to be parents again. How to be parents again, because these kids these days, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Like you say, they're running around with machetes, some of them, and things like that. You're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
allowing you to do this? Do you know, I saw a bus driver being abused by these kids. And me went, oi,
yeah.
stop, get off the bus. And I thought, and they went, you can't speak to me like that.
That could cost you your life in this day and age. Like,
Exactly.
this is why some people, people have gone a bit colder, because it's self-preservation first. Like, yes, you don't want to see a man and a woman fighting and stuff, but you also don't want to get stabbed or shot in America, even, like, for trying to break it up.
What's my son told me? My son's told me so many times, Mum, butt out because you will be the recipient. He's told me no end, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it is so impulsive. It's like something's taken over you. It's like something. It's like if you're a real person and you have real sort of. It just takes like that Muslim guy. What makes a man charge at someone with a freaking rifle in his hand, with a gun in his hand? He couldn't stand by and watch people getting shot. And some people have it, some people don't. A lot of people give it oh yeah, Billy Big Bollocks, I'll jump in, I'll do this, I'll do that. In theory, mate, bullets start going over your head, and you've got your family around, you're getting the hell out of there. And that's probably the best advice. Like,
they're the ones that usually sit there crying. It's usually those quiet ones that are thinking, right, this is what we're going to do, making eye contact with the other person. Right, you go that way, that go, let's
Yeah,
go. You know, one of them. But I am that person, and I think it's that mother in me that maybe thinks to myself that they've never had that sort of, oi, pull it back. And then, like my son says, Mum, you can't do that with other
yeah.
people's children.
Yeah, do you know, I watched this really good video yesterday and it kind of explained different mentalities when you see people. Sometimes you see someone, you think, oh, you are some ignorant, just wrong. And someone said, you get some kids that have a loving family, loving parents, they have they're kind at heart, they've got no need to be angry and stuff like that. Sometimes they still are, sometimes it makes them over the edge still. But then you've got some people that are going home, they're getting abused by a parent, they're getting battered, they're getting beat, they're getting really hurt. And then when they go out into the streets, they take that pain with them. And so the guy said, you get two people fighting, one person from a loving home, one person that's dealt with all this sort of mad trauma. When they fight, it's not even, because this one's a killer, and this one's a, like, unless it's a martial arts equal sort of fight, the one with the beast and the demon with all the anger, when they come together, this is why, I want to know what the answer is, because I see some people and I think, oh, I feel this person is obviously going through a lot of trauma. You see it sometimes. You can see it in their face. They've got the world on their shoulder. They've had a whole load of suffering, but you see them acting in a certain way, and you think, good God, man, I don't want to be associated with you. Oh, good God, man, why are you here, sort of thing. But then it's hard because, I haven't, like, most of us have had normal, good lives. Like, we haven't been through this sort of we haven't been through that kind of trauma, so it's really difficult.
I think possibly maybe that's why I do what I do, because I have been through so much trauma. And maybe if somebody had been there for me in those times, and brought me down, because I've told you there are times when I've just gone absolutely crazy. And maybe if there'd have been somebody there for me at that time, maybe I wouldn't have felt that anger and that trauma. Excuse me. But I just think kids these days just need a little bit more parenting. We need to really, really. I mean, that video you sent me of that Jamaican woman kills me, because that to me is parenting. That is parenting. She didn't really lay her hands on her, did she? She
No.
just basically went to town. We haven't got the video, but there's a Jamaican woman and her 13-year-old daughter comes in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and she literally tears strips off her verbally. Who do you think you are coming in at this time? I'm taking you to the doctors and I'm getting you checked out and all this. And that to me is parenting.
But for me, when I watched that, that's such a hard situation to be in. Like, with Western children, they know the laws, they know what you can and can't do. So imagine having a young child like that, especially a daughter, going off the rails like that. What can you really do? Like, and one of the things you can do is cut them off. But if you
Yeah,
cut them off, they're for the streets.
yeah.
The streets take them. So, and then it's like, you even if you cut them off, the thought of your offspring being on the street and doing madness with all the people taking advantage of them, you couldn't live like that anyway. So that's a really tough situation.
I do think that respect has to come back into the household. Like you say, I think the fact that these kids know the rules now, and they know that you can't. And I'm not talking about beating them. I'm talking about discipline. They know that parents can't discipline. They're the first to ring the police and go, "I'm being abused." You're not. You're being disciplined, and that's the difference.
Yeah. I'll find the video. There's a video of I won't find it now, but I'll do it for another day. Where this
That any child that's grown up with a Jamaican mother, the amount of Jamaican mothers I know,
every
that
every black person's parent from a certain culture, from a certain background, would be in
yeah,
would be
you
in
do
jail
not
today.
with
My
mum.
my mum says that to me all the time, and my mum is very much. She doesn't really get on the bus anymore, but she's very much, when she used to hear young children talking up, like, she would turn around and say, "How dare you?" Like, she would tell. My mum's old school, like, she would tell them off on the bus, like, all the time. And people, my sister would be with her sometimes. My sister would be like, "Just stop it, just leave it alone, leave it alone." She said, "No, no." My mum was very much passionate like that.
Well, that's possibly me, because I just think that they need teaching manners. But then, like my son says to me, "Mum, it's not your job to do that. It's their parents' job." So maybe we need to sort of do some sort of charity to help with parenting,
You
because
see, yeah, see, this is the dangerous side to that self-preservation, which is important, obviously. The dangerous side to it is people get to the point where we are now. Everyone's cold. I don't care. I don't want to get involved in that nonsense. That's nothing to do with me. These are not the foundations on building up a community. A community looks out for each other. They care about each other. Like, like it used to be the elderly could walk down the road and be safe. Now you're not, even in all sorts of communities, all the communities really, like where there's poverty and stuff, the elderly aren't safe to walk down the streets anymore. Like you had that veteran on the TV saying, this isn't the country fought for. It must be such a scary place for them now. Like, and social media you have to think, some of these people, these veterans, they're over 100 years old. They weren't cars in their day. there weren't cars in their day. So can you imagine how overwhelmed they must be by the social media? I had the pleasure of sitting down and speaking to a lot of vets back about 5 years ago. I had the pleasure of speaking to a lot of vets, people that had served, people that told me about the wars and how they lived through it, going out hunting. They used to have to go out and hunt for food, to get food and kill rabbits. And honestly, it's fascinating listening to their stories, and to think that now they don't feel safe to walk down the streets.
Disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm just so disappointed with this generation that are coming along.
Small changes is all it takes to start caring again. People need to start caring about each other. Small changes.
Maybe that's our resolution then. Taking it into 26. Small changes.
Indeed. And let's wrap the show up with that. Everyone, we wish you have a great happy new year to everyone. Have a great night. Unfortunately, some people will be spending this night alone. People like Donna working tomorrow. They're going to have a little swig and then they'll probably be asleep. Happy New Year to you too, Chloe.
Yeah, happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone. Have you got anything planned, Kitty?
Me, I'm going to go live tonight. I'm going to be with everybody on TikTok, and maybe play a few tunes, see you in the new year, then go to bed. And that's me. And I am literally doing it because I don't want anybody to be alone.
Yeah.
I just want it. And it's not me being holier than thou. I'm alone myself.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed. And guys, reach out to someone. Don't suffer alone. And you know what? Even if you are giving someone some baggage, but if you need to get it off, get it off. Be selfish like that. Get it off. And the person initially might think, oh, bloody hell, what does this person want? But, after a little while, they will listen. Like, I was watching this video about this guy, and he says that, his mum died recently, and he said that he's never felt, he said, you don't know what that pain is like. And he says to see people that moan about their mums coming round to see them and blah blah blah, he said when they're gone, it's like a hole in you that you can never really truly understand. Like, it's such a weird thing, like, to deal with. And maybe we'll speak about that. People need to start appreciating their parents like a little bit more, like, because you never know.
Well, it goes back to respecting our parents again. And, maybe, like you say, it's a show. Because I think these children need to realise that you only get really one mum or dad, or maybe a step-parent as well. You only get that. And there are some people that haven't got that, and you need to respect it. From me, Happy New Year to everybody. Don't make resolutions that are crazy. Just do small ones. Right?
You're not going to be a billionaire next year then, no?
Oh God, yeah, I am. But I'll do it in baby steps.
Fair enough.
Yeah, right. So I'll be a millionaire by mid-year, and then a billionaire by the end of the year. But yeah, don't expect too much of your resolutions. Just do little ones. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Happy New Year to everyone. Peace and love to you guys. It's been fabulous. Guys. Peace and love to you guys. Have a great one, guys.